Hello and welcome to the Business Connections. So for today's episode, I have a very special guest. I have the PNA President, Philippine Nurse Association, and he's here with us to share his story. No other than Mr. Roland Santos.
Hello, how are you, Wendy?
I'm doing
It
great.
is finally this moment to meet you, and I'm so excited.
I'm so excited and nervous as well. I'm so nervous with you.
Well, I mean, the let me just rephrase that. I'm the president of the Philippine Nurses Association of Southern California.
Of Southern
Yes.
California.
Yes, and you know the mother organization is Philippine Nurses Association of America.
Oh, got
So we're a
it.
subchapter of the PNAAA.
The PNAAA.
Yes, ma'am.
That's great. Well, thank you for coming here. I know you have to drive all the way from LA, and it's so amazing that you're here with me today. So let's talk about you first. I know you're the president of the Southern California chapter, but who is Roland Santos? Can you tell me more about yourself?
Wow, we don't have all day, but I'm going to talk about where how I got here actually, and I'll make it very simple
Of course,
and
yes.
short. Right. Anyway, I graduated from the University of Santo Tomas for many years ago, and after graduation, of course, I went over to the United States, found a job in Illinois for 1 year, and then moved over to Southern California, beautiful Southern California, where it never rains, I thought, right? And then from being a staff nurse in the local hospital, I was promoted as a director for that hospital. Of course, I did my master's degree. I went to University of Southern California for my master's degree, and then I practically had my clinical experience for about 2-3 years, and then went on to become a leader, in the hospital, and gradually worked my way up to be assistant chief nursing officer to a chief nursing officer position. And now I'm a chief nursing officer and have been a chief nursing officer for about 15 years. Currently, I work in a local hospital. And of course, as a chief nursing officer, you're responsible for the operations of the whole hospital, which is very challenging. But I think it's all about how you are enjoying your position.
That is right.
Right. And then let's talk about Philippine Nurses Association of Southern California. And of course, many of my friends are Philippine Nurses Association of Southern California members. And they said, why don't you become a member? In fact, originally I said, I only want to become a member if I will be president.
Wow.
They said, oh no, I mean, they said you got to start from being, an officer with the Philippine Nurses Association of Southern California. That was Mindy actually who told me that. Mm-hmm. And so I became a member, I ran for an office for PNA SC and eventually was able to be elected to the position of the president. So at this point, I'm serving as president for PNA SC for this two-year term, which is 2020 and 2022. So my term ends next year. I'm having so much fun with PNA SC in addition to my work as a chief nursing officer.
I know. I was just asking you, how do you manage? How do you balance being a CNO of one of the biggest hospital and being the president? And you said you just enjoyed it.
I think it's a puzzle. It's a puzzle where you have to put the pieces together, and it's all about how you balance your work with your professional commitment with an organization, and you need to find meaning in what you do. I think if you find meaning in what
Purpose.
you do
Yeah.
and purpose,
Yes,
I think it will make you be successful.
I agree on that
Yeah.
one. So how many people or nurses are involved in in our organization? By the way, I'm also a registered nurse.
Oh, wow.
Previous background, registered nurse, and that is why I wanted to have Mr.
Yeah.
Roland Santos to be here,
Right.
because I wanted to know what's going on in the healthcare at the same time in your chapter, what's going on. So how many nurses are involved or members of your organization?
Our mother organization, which is PNAA America, has over 4,000 members right now. And each of the chapters have members, of course. And we
Yes.
are one of the chapters. We're the Southern California chapter of PNA. And we almost have active members, almost 100 active members. We do have some lifetime members too. So as I said earlier, the tenders, but the we have a bunch of lifetime members, and we owe it to them to have, set this organization up 60 years ago.
Wow.
Because actually, this year we are celebrating our 60th anniversary, and we are actually planning a big event November 6th. And of course, you're invited. I know you will be
Thank you.
participating
Of
as a
course.
sponsor and as a nurse. And as an organization, we have a lot of activities. And I think there's a notion out there that professional organizations are only about, partying and, these types of activities. But I can guarantee you and that it's not, it's more than that. I mean, like for PNA SC, we did quite a bit of community service.
Outreach too, right?
Outreach.
Yes.
We do a lot of outreach. We do homeless outreach programs where we go all the way to the LA mission to provide them, toothpaste, shampoo, anything they need, to make sure that on a day-to-day basis, they have what they need, for comfort and for their safety. We do like last weekend we do an LA River cleanup.
Yes, I saw that
We do
one.
that.
Yeah.
We're collecting trash from from some of the LA rivers, and that's not the first one. We did a couple already. We also did food drives, as well as food distribution as well, and we participate in a couple of them, or even 3 or 4 of them already so far. And then, of course, we take care of our nurses. We provide them with continuing education. We reach out to them, especially during this pandemic where a lot of our nurses are affected as frontliners. So we offer or are continue to offer a lot of health and wellness. We did some mindfulness activities and symposium about how we can help them mentally as well as physically. And I see that as a plus for the nurses as well. And then, of course, we reach out to our community politically, such as our consul general. We make sure that we make it known that we exist as an organization, and we're there for them. And in fact, we had a visit with the new consul general,
Abadejos.
Badajos, and in fact, we had guaranteed him, or we are going to support him in terms of doing some blood pressure screenings in their lobby, at least on the last Friday of the month. So we volunteered to do that as well. We do a lot of self-care activities for our nurses, like we do some hike. We did a Rose Bowl hike at least a couple of times already during the past year. And then, of course, we reach out to other organizations as well. Like we started doing some collaboration with, number one, Korean nurses.
Wow.
So we reach out to the Korean Nurses Organization, their nursing organizations. And our first symposium on that was about vaccine hesitancy. Because early on during the pandemic, there was a lot of vaccine hesitancy.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. Talk to us about that, the hesitancy, getting the vaccine.
It is a ongoing process. It's sad to say it's an ongoing process at this point. Our California vaccination rate, or even the nationwide rate, is somewhere around the 50s or 60%, unfortunately. And this continues to be a challenge. And we have been out there. In fact, we have supported programs to encourage people to be vaccinated. And I know each of our organizations have vaccination days so that we can reach out to the community. And we do a lot of or participate in many Zoom calls, Zoom conferences about what can we do to be able to reach out to the folks who have vaccine hesitancy. The conversion rate so far is low, but we have really high hopes that we're able to convert, those who are hesitant to get the vaccine. I think it's a matter of giving them the real facts about the vaccine and all the conspiracy about what is the vaccine. In fact, I invited in one of my symposiums some doctors to talk about the vaccine in general and what the vaccine does, because this is scientific, it's science based. The vaccine is not something that we just got last year. It's a vaccine, we know about the vaccine. It's been studied for years and years, and we know it works. And given the, pandemic currently and the resurgence again,
Resurfacing.
all these topics about vaccination and what vaccine will do for you. In fact, currently what they're saying is that the vaccine actually works in a way where, and I know some people who had been vaccinated had gotten COVID again, or had gotten COVID. However, the effect of the vaccine is that your symptoms are less. So there's less likely for you to end up in the ICU or to be intubated because of the fact that you got the vaccine. And we're seeing that. So many of the patients right now who are being admitted to the hospitals, I say about 95% are unvaccinated, unfortunately. So
I know
the work continues on trying to get this population to really get the vaccine. And so one of the things the hospitals are doing now is offering it to the patients who are in the hospital, to the patients in the ER, and nonstop. But
it's a nonstop job.
It's a nonstop process, but we have hopes that it's going to help us with this other resurgence, third or fourth resurgence.
Do you have any website? Because I know there's a lot of hesitants.
Right.
And I know in the pack, like my family, some of them don't believe. And do you give out flyers, or do you have any website where they can find more, facts about the effectiveness of the vaccine?
There's a lot of information. In fact, if you Google about vaccination, effectiveness of vaccine, you'll get a lot of information about the vaccine. The good site, of course, the best site, of course, is our California CDC, where it talks about the vaccine and the effectiveness of the vaccine. And I think that's one of the best sources of that. And again, work continues around doctors, our, CDC, about informing the public and educating the public about the effects of the vaccine, and trying to get people to do it.
And it's gonna take a while to even, yes. So
Right.
a lot of people that needs teaching about it. So like you mentioned a lot of great projects that your organization made, and it's not only more of like partying. You said
Yeah.
it has purpose.
Yep.
It has like a meaningful cause. So how can these all upcoming nurses, how can you encourage them to get involved with the PNAA?
I think one of the best things, and especially for the millennials, the X and Y generations,
Yes.
right? A lot of our, I guess every generation, I think we're into social media,
Yes.
right? And I think the goal of organizations is to have a very strong social media presence, because people, I can't tell you someone who does not go into, to the internet or to the, to the websites to look at things, right? Because quite frankly, a nurse gets sick. If they get sick, they go to Google what's going on with
Yes.
me, right? That's how paranoid we are. So I think with this strong social media presence, we need to provide valuable information on social media to attract, like our nurses especially, right? To participate in organizations. I think they need to know what we're doing, right? So we, as organizations, that's why we are thankful for Facebook, for Instagram, for Twitter, right? For being able to be the platform for informing them about the good things that are happening, or to really showcase what good things or activities we are doing to promote our organization, and not just on our organization, to really help our nurses especially,
Yes.
right? especially
Support system.
yeah,
Yeah.
support system. And there's quite a bit of that we're doing. And I know we're not a perfect or organization, but I think there's work to do around that. And our goal is to really to reach out to everyone.
Everyone in
Yeah.
the it's not only in the US
Yeah.
because nurses is all over the world,
Right.
right? Especially during pandemic. Are we still in short of nurses right now?
We are definitely short on nurses, and they're expecting a really bad shortage right now. And I've talked to several organizations, and each of these organizations really are hurting, uh, trying to get nurses. And there's not even a supply out there who would work in the hospitals. And that's why one of the things currently we're doing, and I'm currently actively involved in that, is really recruitment of international nurses.
Got it.
And the recruitment of international nurses is really about getting those nurses to come to the United States. And it's not just Filipino nurses, Korean nurses, and to fill the void for this shortage. And I'll speak for my organization. Currently, we're needing about 600 nurses.
600,000?
600, just
600
600 nurses.
Oh, for
my
your
organization. Yeah, that's a
Okay, got
lot
it.
for an
Yes, it is,
organization.
yeah.
And so we're working with a couple of recruitment agencies so that we can get the nurses here. Actually, it's a very attractive offer because they'll be green cards when they get here.
And the family too, right?
And the family, because they'll be
Okay.
green cards, and they will be the processing will be about 16 months to 18 months
Wow.
plus minus, and each one is a
It
case
depends
to
on the
case
process,
basis.
yeah.
Right. But it's now, it's something that started happening now, where most hospitals now are recruiting nurses overseas to get them over
So a lot
here.
of opportunities also from other
Right.
countries to be here.
Right. In fact, we're offering them sign-in bonuses. We give them
Housing.
relocation assistance.
Relocation.
Right. And for our local nurses, of course, we're not forgetting our local nurses. We have a
Yes.
lot of incentives for our local nurses from the different schools in our country, where we offer also loan forgiveness. We do tuition reimbursement. We do sign-in bonuses as well. And it's just
A lot of,
it's still
benefits, yeah.
there's still a lot of need.
Yeah, because I always read it, and
Yeah.
then I always check on social media, and that's what we need is a lot of
Yeah.
nurses coming here. Is it because there's still a spike of COVID patients and people, death, mortality?
Yeah, there is. However, there is also that, how the baby boomers are ready to retire. This is
Yeah.
the year that the baby boomers, in the next couple
Oh
of
my
years,
God, yeah.
where the baby boomers are going to be retiring.
Retiring, yes.
And if you remember, way back, they decreased the nurses in nursing school have, in terms of the enrollment, has decreased. So now we're getting the effects of that decrease in enrollment from many years ago. People were not attracted to nursing way back a few years ago. And now, we are in this dilemma where the baby boomers have retired or about to retire, right?
Yes.
In fact, a lot of nurses, early retirement, 62 and a half,
62.
would want to start retiring. And a lot of nurses retired during this
The
pandemic.
pandemic, I know there's
Yes.
like a forced
Right.
retirement, right?
Right. And a lot of them have given up and said, I can't take this.
Because
And
of
you know
the
what?
stress, yeah.
I really respect that decision. In fact, some of even our younger nurses had quit
During
because, during
because
this
of
pandemic.
those the
Yeah.
stressful.
I have nurses come to me at the end of their shift and say,
That's
I
it.
can't do this anymore. I can't. I said, well, this is your commitment as a nurse. I said, this pandemic is not the first you're going to experience. You're going to
Right.
experience another one of this.
You need to
And-
overcome those challenges. Yeah.
Right.
So, Roland, where can they reach you? Like those, let's say, viewers that are nurses, how can they be a member of your organization, the Philippine Nurse Association of Southern California?
Well, since you said that, I'm going to invite our audience. So we are, again, our strong social media presence, we do have a website, and it's www.mypnasc.org, and there's details in that where you can register as a member. And if you do want to talk to me personally, or if you want to reach out to me, I'm on social media, I'm on Facebook, and you can always message me, and you should be able to talk to me about the benefits of being a member, although everything is on the website. But if you do want to talk to someone to talk to you about membership, I'm the person, or any one of my executive board members as well.
That's great.
Please come. You will enjoy being a member of a professional organization.
Well, I wanted to be a member. I think I'm already on your group. Because Ate Mindy, I always
Yeah.
talk to her. Hi, Ate Mindy. Oh, Mindy
Hi.
Orpian and Dan Bernal. Well, thank you so much. And is there anything you wanted to add before we end the show? Like any other projects, outreach, the upcoming? I know you're also a member
Yeah.
of UST.
Yes.
Yes.
I think this is a great venue for connections, and as you
Yes.
said, and I think we need to reach out to as many of our nurses, as much as, not just nurses actually, reach out to the folks out there, and because I think connection is very important, networking is very important, and I think successful people have successful connections.
That's true.
Right?
Mm-hmm. That's true.
And we must believe that there's always a purpose for every single one of us. And I'm inviting you to get connected. And I'm really thankful that Wendy Lindo invited me to this program or talk, because I think we can reach out there to every single
Millions of people,
one.
yes.
Right, not just here in California, here in
All over the world.
all over. And I invite you to view her talk show.
Oh, thank you so much, Roland. Thank you so much. And hope you enjoyed our interview today. And for everyone that are watching today, you can also reach Roland Santos if you have any other question, not even related to, vaccines, or you just wanted some information about other health challenges.
Sure.
He's free. And again, thank you so much to all the viewers of the Business Connection. So I'll see you again to the next episode.